All right, joining us right now, we got a microphone for him right there, and it's I think like his third season with the Padres, and the first time we've had a chance to talk to him, especially out here in spring training. Pride of Colorado. What state is Colorado, Woods?
The Sunshine State.
It's the Centennial State.
They call it the Sunshine State. They do call it that, though, don't
It's like the third or fourth sunniest state.
That's right.
I think,
but they do call it that, right? You've heard that.
I have not heard
He lives in he's from Colorado. It's the
All right,
Centennial
thanks for your
State.
time this
Stephen
morning.
Wilson
Stephen
is
Wilson,
here
everybody.
with Ben and Woods, the 97.3 The Fan. We've had this argument. He saw it somewhere, and he calls it the Sunshine State. Florida is the Sunshine State.
Yeah. Allegedly. I'm digging in. How's everything, man?
Everything's great.
Good.
Yeah, good to be out here. I was out in Arizona all off season, so didn't have to move this year.
That's good.
So, yeah.
You know, another place that I saw you were at Driveline, and we are fascinated by Driveline, as most media members are. We've talked to Kyle Bodie a few times on the show. Bodie or Body?
He changes it every day.
He changes it every time we talk to him.
I think Bodie's.
Bodie.
I still haven't met him, so I don't know.
Oh, you didn't meet him? Okay,
Nope.
so I saw some video of you out there at Driveline. I'm fascinated by it. I am. I think it's cool, and I think the more you can learn about your craft, the better. If there was a Driveline for radio, I'd be there. I would go and check it out, but there's not one yet. Tell us about your experience there.
Yeah, I had a friend on the Twins, Griffin Jacks, grew up playing baseball against him and with him. And I reached out to him at the end of last year. Was kind of banged up, had a couple injuries, and I knew he had gone there. And so I just asked him, hey, like, what do you got on it? And he loved it. He loves it there. And so I gave it a shot and through there all off season, fixed a couple things that I was working on, it's still a work in progress, getting a splitter down. The one they put on X yesterday was a good one.
Feels good when you catch one.
When you get one, they're nasty, but it's hard to get consistent. I know Darvish has been working on one too, so I've been picking his brain about it, and it hasn't gone great to hitters yet, but we're still working on it. I feel like once it clicks, then it's over. Then it'll be nice.
Hopefully for the league.
If you're into that, I'd imagine you're excited about. We were at the ribbon cutting for the biomechanics lab. Padres just opened. Have you seen it yet? I mean, is that a tool you feel like you'll be using going forward?
Yeah, I've thrown on their motion capture a couple times, and I went to the lab in January and threw on the Point Loma motion capture as well.
Talking to Stephen Wilson here on Ben and Woods, and I can't imagine what it's like to try to learn a new pitch at this level, and not only learn a new pitch, but implement a new pitch. And like you said, what is it? Is it confidence in it? Is it execution 50-50? How's it work?
Honestly, the first step for me, and this is what I keep talking to Ruben about, is like just the ball being comfortable in my hand, like the grip being comfortable. I've been all over the place with the splitter. I started here with the splitter.
Yep.
And then you need me to bring it up.
Yeah.
I started like right in here with the splitter, and then it kind of rotated over to here. And this is where I was throwing it. If you see that video on X, it's this one here. I've also been talking to Darvish. He's thrown a couple, like, this is more like Senga's Ghost Fork is like right in here.
Wow.
And then I think Darvish is maybe throwing one like this now. And this is how Scanlon threw his.
Yep.
I was talking to Scanlon about it too. So it's all just kind of comfortability and feel.
Sure.
And then you start moving the thumb around and getting different action. And it's a pitch based on slip. So you're banking on your fingers slipping off the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So to try to get super consistent with that is difficult. Even the best guys, you'll see some will cut and drop, some will run. Like it's a tough pitch to master. Which is probably why not a lot of guys throw it.
Yeah, 100%.
Talking to Stephen Wilson here on Ben and Woods, and I'll have to ask. I mean, no one can ever be truly comfortable, in a big leagues. There's always competition here, but now that you've been in the big leagues for a couple of seasons, do you feel like you can work on things more in spring training? It's not simply about I got to show my best just to make this team. I don't want to go back to the minors. Now
I need to get
you've
the
been
sign
here
right
for
here.
You actually can kind of work on some things at spring training.
Yeah, I mean, I still have 3 years of options, so I wouldn't say I'm comfortable to where I can just work on things.
Yeah.
But I feel like to a hitter or two every outing, I can. Like my last outing at the Cubs, I tried to mix in a couple splitters in counts that I probably wouldn't throw them right now if it were an actual game. And I've talked with Ruben about it. I was like, hey, do you want me to pitch to get outs, or do you want me to like kind of work on the new pitches? And so we've had a good balance, like a couple outings, like just go get after it, and then a couple other outings, like, hey, let's work on it and try to get a feel for it. So we're doing a little bit of both. but I wouldn't say I'm fully comfortable with just working on stuff all spring training.
Talking to Stephen Wilson here on Ben and Woods this morning, and Ruben is such a great guy, man. He's such a great guy, and so many you get to work with him every day. You know that very well. He's a really smart guy. He seems to be a very caring guy as well. You know, Blake Snell credited him with a lot of his success and calming him down. You know, the mechanics and things aside, what does he like to work with as kind of like your main report every day?
No, we always have good conversations. I feel like I can go up to him and ask him about, hey, what do you got on, or what are you seeing in my catch play? What are you seeing in the bullpen? Is it a mechanical thing? Is it my grip? Is it my arm speed, my arm action? So there's always just a good back and forth of, and then and Fritz is usually in on those conversations as well.
He's awesome.
And yeah, both of them are great. Just being able to have that comfortability to go up and talk to them about something that you're struggling with, and not worry about, oh, now they're going to think like, is that, I can't do this.
Is that rare for a guy like you said? I mean, you still have options. Is that rare? Like, not everybody can just walk up and have that conversation. I think maybe at the big league level. When you were a younger player, were you like, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut, get my work done, not say a word? I don't want anybody to notice me unless I'm on the mound doing good things.
Yeah, definitely. When I was younger, I didn't say anything. even probably the first like 3 months in the big leagues, I was just like
silent.
It was actually Hosmer that came up to me one day. I walked right by him. I didn't say a word, because I got advice from somebody. They were like, honestly, just keep your head down and your mouth shut. And so I did that. I was like, okay, that guy played in the big leagues, told me just keep my head down and my mouth shut and work hard. And then one day Hosmer was like, Willie, like, are you ever going to say hi to me?
Hello.
Like, just say something. And so that was when I kind of like started to open up. So I'll credit Hosmer with that one, but
bro, baseball players are mean. They can be mean. They're mean. Like you have to fit in, but you also have to produce. It's a lot. It's a lot for you guys.
Right.
Now there's a lot of new guys in the bullpen this year to say hello to. What was your reaction to seeing the additions of Matsui and Go and Peralta and some of the guys from the Yankees? I mean, that's a crowded new space in there.
Yeah, it's going to be different because a lot of the guys that I played with my first 2 years aren't around anymore. So it's been great getting to know the guys so far in spring training. I look forward to traveling with them and getting to know them even more. Matsui's my locker mate right now, so I've been trying to pick up some Japanese and communicate with him in his language. So
do you care where you pitch? Like, do you care when they use you? Do you dream of, man, I want the ninth someday. I want to be the guy, or I'd love to be the setup man, and get a bunch of holds and stuff like that. Or are you just like, just give me the ball when I need to get outs?
I mean, every reliever probably wants the ninth inning.
Yeah.
And then if you got somebody like Hader on your team or Taylor Rogers before that, like, that's their inning. Yep. So in that situation, you just want leverage. Like, hey, get me in there when it's a close game, when we're up. I want the ball at that point.
I want it when we're up 6 or down 6. That's when. Usually, that's when like I got it.
You like to be the lowest leverage reliever out there.
I'll eat these here.
Personally, I like when the game's closer. For me, it's easier to get that adrenaline, and I always pitch better when I've got a lot of adrenaline. Like, you're thinking less, you're just getting out there, and when it's those games that aren't really close and you're getting in there and you've experienced that adrenaline consistently,
it's tough.
You don't get the same. Sometimes you still get it. Other times it's like the crowd's not in it anymore, and so you're not getting that atmosphere that kind of energizes you. So those are the ones where you got to go out there and still do your job, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
How has the managerial change gone for you? Obviously, there's some consistency with guys like Ruben back, and Mike's been around, but different voice leading the room compared to Bob Melvin from last year.
Yeah, I had actually gotten somewhat close to Shilty the last 2 years because he would be around when we were at home, and obviously he coached third for us a little bit last year. So I had many conversations with him over the past couple of years and gotten to know him. So for me, it wasn't like a huge change because I've seen him. He's been around. So obviously Melvin isn't there anymore, but Schilt's been there. So for me, it wasn't anything drastic.
Pretty smooth transition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, man, we thanks for your time this morning. Certainly, it was awesome to meet you finally. I'm actually embarrassed it's taken this long, but wishing you the best of luck. And keep doing what you're doing, man. Everyone loves watching you pitch. So
thank you.
Keep doing your thing.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it very much.
Stephen Wilson, we got a little bat for you to sign here that we're doing for all of our guests here.
All the times I've hit.
Get it for
That's
charity
right.
or something like that. Yeah, well,
Do you miss hitting?
I do.
Do you? Were you a good hitter when you were younger?
Yeah, I went out on top, honestly,
Did
with my
you?
hitting career. Yeah.
That's good. When was the last?
What does that
What
mean?
was the last level you hit
walk
at?
off home run, last swing you ever took?
No, I don't even remember my last at bat. But in high school, I had my best hitting year, my senior year. I think I ended up winning like the league MVP, and
Wow.
I was like, all right, I went out on top. I probably would have went to college and hit $150, and
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been good.
What was your position? Did you pitch in high school too?
And first base.
And
Yeah.
first base.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's
man.
not
So-
that uncommon. I've seen a lot of big league pitchers tended to they're all really good athletes. So
Yeah.
they were dominant in high
We're
school,
the best
whatever
athletes.
they
The best
did. Yeah.
The pitchers
They
are the best
by
athletes.
far.
They were the
There's no
best.
question.
Stephen Wilson.